We are now arriving at Waitemata, the last stop for this service.
The
Kia ora. Hi, welcome to the Auckland Explorer Bus. We're delighted to show you around our city, where you'll find a rare mix of urban excitement and natural scenic beauty. We're not the only ones who think Auckland's unique. International surveys consistently rate this city one of the world's best places to live. Enjoy your tour today. Hop off at any stop and explore at your own pace. Then hop on the next bus and keep going. Our commentary shares fun and fascinating stories, from the volcanic eruptions that shaped New Zealand to our first human inhabitants, the Māori. Your safety is our first priority. We'd like to remind you that you must always remain seated at all times while the bus is in motion. Additionally, as a courtesy to other passengers, please do not talk while the commentary is playing. Please ensure your personal headphones are connected to your phone while listening to this commentary in another language, so you don't disturb others who may be listening to the driver's commentary. All cruise ship passengers, please take note that the bus does not return to the wharf to drop you off. Instead, disembark at the downtown Auckland stop at the end of your tour. That stop is located a short 5-minute stroll back to your cruise ship. Step into the extraordinary at Weta Workshop Unleashed, located on level 5 of the Sky City precinct. This award-winning 90-minute guided tour takes you through a wildly imaginative world of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. Get hands-on with epic film sets, lifelike creatures, a galactic robot, and a full-size spaceship, all crafted by the legendary Academy Award-winning Weta Workshop team. Ever wondered what it's like to stand face-to-face with the All Blacks as they perform the haka? Feel the intensity, the energy, and the raw power of New Zealand's rugby legends up close and personal. At the All Blacks experience, you don't just watch it, you live it. This fully immersive state-of-the-art attraction brings the story and rugby to life. A sport that's a deep part of culture was native to. Stand the shoes of All Black, test your skills, and see if you've got what it takes to make the team. You'll find the All Blacks experience inside Auckland's Sky City complex, a must-do for sports fans and anyone curious about New Zealand's national pride. This stop is the Sky Tower and Sky City Precinct. Hop off for incredible views, hair-raising thrills, dining, the All Blacks experience, and Weta Unleashed. For your safety, passengers must remain seated whenever the bus is in motion, when buses stop at traffic lights, and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open-top buses, please ensure your hands, arms, and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you. The next stop will be the Art Gallery. Stop here for Queen Street, Albert Park, the Civic Theatre, and the Town Hall. We will soon be passing the Civic, one of Auckland's architectural gems. The Civic is a renovated 1920s movie palace that now hosts live performances. Did you know more at the heart of Auckland is Aotea Square, a popular location for festivals, events, live music, and performing arts. We'll be passing the main attraction is a stunning collection of portraits of marble figures from the late 19th and early 20th centuries. I'm always fascinated by the traditional or marble facial tattoos. They cover the faces of the men, but only the chins of the women. Right beside we can now see New Zealand's largest university, the University of Auckland. When opened in 1883, it had all of 4 teachers and 95 students attending class in an old courthouse and jail. Today, the university has 5 campuses and over 40,000 students, and it ranks in the top 100 universities worldwide. The University of Auckland may have the world's cutest university crest. It shows 3 kiwi birds running over a field of blue waves. Our next stop will be Newmarket Shopping District. The logo or icon of our All Blacks rugby team is a silver fern, a symbol of New Zealand as popular as the kiwi bird. This fern gets its name from the silvery underside of its fronds. The Māori use social effects on light and light their half at night. Silver ferns are one of around 200 fern species that grow in the humid forests of New Zealand. 40% of these species grow nowhere else on Earth. New Zealand has so many places to visit now. Those usually involve road trips. Just for that, you don't see this room stay and live. Of course, during our drivers from start to finish, it runs from Paisley, that's the Wheel Island, all the way down to Bluff. Southernmost News Brothers and above the success channel.
Heavy on my mind. You're the peace I always find.
That's the two lanes.
You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my beginning and my end. In your arms is where I belong. With you, my love, I'm always strong. My forever man, my guiding light. You make my wrongs feel right. I thank God every day I can.
The Spanish mission style of being a retailer is not a privilege premises on New Zealand's most prestigious public sector schools. So even already there, so the reason why, although you talk not to music and tactic, and then that also students see visual teachers studying Latin, and with all New Zealand schools, also teachers and you'll see many signs about Germany, North English, and Walking around it is one of the city's most elite sporting schools. The New Zealand school system emphasises sports for all ages. Popular sports for both boys and girls include rugby, netball, and hockey and winter, and TCC. Maori Pūrākau, or legends, say that in the beginning, Rangi made the sky. Lay embracing his wife, Papatuanapu the earth. Their children lay between them in darkness, unable to separate their parents. One of them, Mahuta, placed his shoulders against his mother and pressed his feet against his father, pushing them apart with all his strength. When the children first saw daylight, they became gods. Matia, the god of winds and storms, never wanted his parents separated. He still sends storms to punish Mahuta, the god of the forests. We're on the suburb of X, which is known for horse racing at the Auckland Raceway. It's named after the English town of Epsom, who famous red races at Epsom Downs. The cows had horses here in the mid-1800s, where European settlers later English ministers who raised and built fortifications. Nowadays, the trees lining Epsom Street still give a feel of a country town. We call this a leafy suburb. Like this, most of us put in photo here. The largest kauri in New Zealand is called Tangi Mahuta, the Lord of the Forest, found in Auckland's Waipoa Forest. He's over 2,000 years old and more than 50 metres tall, a true giant, and seen as a living ancestor in Māori tradition. Kauri trees are protected from logging operations today, but they're threatened by a fungus-like disease called kauri dieback. Once they're infected, it's too late to save them. There's no cure yet, so protecting the forests means staying on marked tracks and cleaning your shoes at hygiene stations before and after visiting kauri areas. So, if you visit, be sure to do your part to keep these forest giants standing for future generations. Welcome to Newmarket. Newmarket was strategically important to the various Māori iwi that occupied the lands here. Little Māori knew this area as Pipi Pupahi, sacred cabbage tree standing low. This cabbage tree was a landmark for those travelling between Manukau and Waitemata harbours. Sadly, it was cut down in 1908 as it was considered a danger to the children attending the local school. The precinct housed cattle yards, market gardens, breweries, sawmills, bakers, ironmongers, and general retail. People gathered here to buy and sell their wares. Today, United has been transformed into an upscale shopping precinct where you can find an abundance of designer fashion boutiques and shoe stores along Nuffield Street, Broadway, and the stylish Westfield Shopping Mall, your one-stop hub for shopping, fun, and relaxation. Along Nuffield Way, you'll find trendy independent galleries showcasing local Kiwi artists and designers.
You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my beginning and my end. In your arms is where I belong. With you, my love, I'm always strong. My forever man, my guiding light. You make my wrongs feel right. I thank God every day I can for giving me a loving man.
This time, United pop off here to show one of Auckland's premier fashion, shopping, and entertainment precincts. This stop is all right.
You lift me up when I'm weak. Every dream feels closer now with your promises and sacred vows. If time should try to fade our fire, my heart will still burn with desire. No matter where this life may go, one thing certain I already know. You're my forever man, my soul, my choice. My favorite sound is your voice. Through all the years, through joy and pain, I choose you over and over again.
Looking to try some sexy New Zealand flavours? With at least 4 sheep for every person here, you really can't go wrong with delicious New Zealand lamb. Or why not try hangi, a traditional Maori way of food? Hangi involves wrapping food in leaves and placing it on hot stones at the bottom of a pit in the ground. Then it's covered with a wet cloth and earth, trapping the heat to slow cook the food until it's tender, juicy, and full of flavour.
In the quiet of the morning light,
We New Zealanders call ourselves Kiwis after a small brown flappers kiwi bird. All birds that don't fly are wild here than anywhere else on Earth, including the take and kakapo. Until humans arrived, New Zealand birds had no major predators or competition for food except other birds, so some species protected themselves by staying close to the ground. The Maori hunted several flightless species to extinction, including the giant moa. Humans' early settlers also introduced birds and other nets that threaten birds. Protecting our flightless species is and will continue to be a major battle in wildlife conservation.
you lift me up when I'm weak. Every dream feels closer now with your promises and sacred vows. If time should try to fade our fire, my heart will still burn with desire. No matter where this life may go, one thing certain I already know. You're my forever man, my soul, my choice, my favorite sound.
Auckland's parks and gardens are a good place to spot one of our most beloved birds and one of the noisiest. The tui uses an impressive vocabulary of songs, grunts, coughs, wheezes and screams to mark its territory and frighten other birds away. Tui look black from a distance, but close you can see their iridescent blue, green and bronze feathers and a white tuft at the throat. They often show off by flying above the forest canopy, then diving straight down, whirring their wings and vocalizing madly. So many of my favourite memories happened where we headed next, the Auckland Lane. The site was known as Pukekala by the royal before being gifted to the new town of New Zealand. In 1845, the park became known as Auckland Lane. Look around as we drive into the 75-hectare green space. You'll see gardens, greenhouses, sculptures, sports fields, and groves of trees with trails winding through. We'll climb to the high point where the Auckland War Memorial Museum is located. There's a cool way around the museum to our next stop. Along the way, you might notice the odd shape of the landscape. The hill the museum is on, and then there's what looks like a bowl of gently sloping sides. That's because we're driving through the crater on top of an extinct volcano. Here's where early Maori built a fortified village called the name used to be a place in now everyone looks here for recreation, entertainment, and food. In front of the Auckland War Memorial Museum stands a memorial to New Zealand soldiers who have lost their lives in war. Inside the museum, you can learn about New Zealand's military history, see the world's leading collection of exhibits about Pacific culture, including an authentic Māori waka or wokanu and an ancestral meeting house. Take a close-up look at our unique natural history, including flightless birds like the giant moa, an extinct species that stood up to 3 metres or almost 10 feet tall. Experience the terror when today one of our volcanoes erupted again, or trace the evolution of New Zealand design and decorative arts. There's even a heartwarming history of childhood in this country, and an interactive touchable gallery just for the kids. This stop is the Auckland War Memorial Museum. Hop off here to explore. There is something for everyone. For your safety, passengers must remain seated whenever the bus is in motion, when the bus is stopped at traffic lights, and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open-top buses, please ensure your hands, arms, and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you. The first Anglican Bishop of New Zealand, George Augustus Salmon, arrived in 1842. You can trace his legacy at our next stop, where you'll find 2 unique and inspiring churches, Holy Trinity Cathedral and the Church of St Mary's. Bishop Salmon had to establish a church for British colonialists and civilise missionary work to the Māori. He also purchased the land where these churches stand today to fulfil his dream of building a cathedral. When we arrive, you'll see a striking modern building with a glass wall and 3 sharp pillars in the roofline. This is the Bishop Selwyn Chapel, a recent addition to Holy Trinity. There's no cost to enter the cathedral, and inside you'll see incredible stained glass windows and an altar made of native kauri wood. Holy Trinity replaced the earlier cathedral, St Mary's, which dates to the 1880s. Once the new cathedral was built, St Mary's was actually lifted up, placed on rollers, and moved across the street. Yes, the whole thing, so it would sit behind Holy Trinity. That was quite a spectacle to see. It's well worth your time to explore the warm, inviting interior of St Mary's, which is constructed entirely from kauri wood. This stop, Holy Trinity. Hop off to tour the cathedral and the Church of St Mary. Our next stop will be Parnell Village. Sure, Aucklanders love tramping around the beaches and the bush, but don't get the wrong impression. This is a city of over 1.5 million. His nation's population lives here. We like our big city fun too, like going out for a meal and shopping. Our next stop is an only in Auckland experience, with quaint little cafes, art galleries, and shops specialising in handcrafted gifts. It's called Ohana Village, a beautifully restored old neighbourhood where you can wander along brick and wooden walkways, past flowering plants, relax over a cup of tea and scones, and shop for gifts made of native woods, sheepskin, and New Zealand greenstone. Parnell Village was the brainchild of Elise Harding, who restored this district back in the 1970s using all recycled materials. Every time I come here, it feels like stepping back in time to a friendlier age. This stop, Parnell Village. This is your stop for restaurants, cafes, art galleries, and high-end craft shops. Parnell Village. This stop is from here we head along the waterfront to Whakaparafo, or Bastion Point. New Zealand greenstone, known as Onamu in Te Reo Māori, is much more than just a beautiful stone. It holds deep meaning and mana, or spiritual power, for Māori. This precious stone, also called jade or nephrite, comes in a range of colours, each with its own special significance. From a Māori perspective, Onamu carries the wairua or spirit of those who wear it. As it is passed down through generations, it grows stronger, connecting the wearer to their ancestors and their strength. Onamu is not just an ornament, it is a living treasure, a taonga or treasured possession, embodying whakapapa or genealogy and protection. Traditionally, Onamu is never bought for yourself, but given as a precious gift to someone else. It's a symbol of respect, love, and connection, meant to be shared and cherished. Many visitors choose to take home Onamu jewellery as a meaningful souvenir, a piece of Aotearoa's heart and history to give to someone special.
In the quiet of the morning light, I see your smile, it feels so right. Through every storm, through every plan, I'm stronger just holding your hand. When the world gets heavy on my mind, you're the peace I always find. You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my beginning and my end. In your arms is where I belong. With you, my love, I'm always strong. My forever man, my guiding light. You make my wrongs feel
In Aotearoa, New Zealand, many young Māori proudly carry on the traditions of kapahaka, the Māori performing arts. It's more than entertainment, it's a powerful expression of identity, language, and whakapapa, or ancestry. You may already be familiar with the haka, made famous by the All Blacks, but haka is just one part of kapahaka. Another is oi, often performed by wahine or bird, where small written long-song strings are rhythmically swung to tell stories, a practice that began as training and evolved into art. Kapahaka brings together traditional song or waianga, chant, karakia, dance, kanikani, and oratory, whaikoreo, in powerful performances full of emotion, movement, and meaning. Today, events like Polyfest and Te Makati are huge celebrations of Māori and Pacific culture. They draw thousands of performers and spectators, both in person and on national television, showcasing the pride and talent of a new generation, keeping the heartbeat of Māori culture strong. The long, white Ports of Auckland building stands on the same spot as the city's first airport. The planes used to land on water. In 1939, Tasman Empire Airways Limited, or TEAL, began regular passenger and freight services using seaplanes or flying boats, meaning planes that could take off from and land on the water harbour. You can still take seabed tours for the most thrilling views of New Zealand from sky and sea.
When the world gets heavy on my mind, you're the peace I always find. You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my
We're passing some large spreading trees called Puhutakawa. You'll often see them lining our waterfront, but they're just as happy clinging to rocky cliffs and slopes. It's easiest to spot them when they're in bloom and absolutely covered with bright red flowers. It starts in around mid-November each year and lasts through Christmas. For New Zealanders, the Puhutakawa is a colourful symbol of Christmas and summer fun.
You listen when I cannot speak. You lift me up when I'm weak. Every dream feels closer now with your promises and sacred vows. If time should try to fade out fire, my heart will still burn with desire.
Auckland's nickname is the city of sails. You'll probably see why as you scan the water around us. It's often crowded with sailboats jockeying for space, with motorboats, yachts, kayaks, ferries, freighters, tugboats, and cruise ships. With two huge harbours, Auckland is an international destination for sailors, including competitors in the America's Cup Regatta. People here own more recreational vessels per capita than any city on earth. We also spend more time at the beach because no matter where you are in Auckland, there's always one nearby. We have 3,200 kilometres, or nearly 2,000 miles of coastline, including the islands of the Hawaii Peninsula. That includes peaceful white sand beaches of the South Pacific along the east coast, or rugged black sandy beaches on the west on the shores of the Tasman Sea. Be long though, we get rough surf and riptides along the west coast. Always check the beach patrol before you go in the water.
In the quiet of the morning light, I see your smile.
Okahu Bay is a picturesque beach on Auckland's waterfront, known for its stunning views of the city skyline and Antarctica. Calm waters suitable for swimming and water sports, and accessible picnic and barbecue facilities. On the inland side, the houses overlooking the bay are some of the city's priciest real estate. My dad used to say that true Aucklanders were born with sand between their toes. Beaches are a part of our lifestyle. Aucklanders seize every chance we get to go swimming, surfing, paddleboarding and sunbathing. We love living in our colds and jandals. That's New Zealand slang, togs meaning a bathing suit, and jandals are the footwear that you might call thongs or flip-flops. This stop is Okahu Bay. Hop off here to enjoy the views from the beach across the Waitanata towards Langipoto, or walk back towards the pier and enjoy waterfront dining at Akarana Eatery. Okahu Bay, this stop.
Simple and true, every word just says I love you.
For your safety, passengers must remain seated when you know the bus is in motion, when the bus has stopped at traffic lights, and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open top buses, please ensure your hands, arms, and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you. Just ahead, we'll pass over the top of Auckland's iconic maritime attraction, Sea Life Kelly Tarleton's Aquarium. Please note that we won't be stopping here in this direction, but we will stop at Kelly Tarleton's on our return trip from Bastion Point.
I'm stronger just holding your hand. You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my beginning and my end. In your arms is where I belong. With you, my love, I'm always strong. My forever man, my guiding light. You make my wrongs feel right. I thank God every day I can for giving me a loving man. You listen when I cannot speak. You lift me up when I'm weak. Every dream feels closer now with your promises. And
We are approaching Takapofo, also known as Bastion Point. In the 1970s and 1980s, Takapofo was the focus of occupations and demonstrations by protesters who were asking the government to return the land to its rightful owners, the Ngāti Whātua tribe, or iwi. Back in 1885, Ngāti Whātua had agreed to temporarily lease this land, or whenua, to the New Zealand government. But the government didn't honour their side of the agreement and never gave the whenua back to Ngāti Whātua. Things came to a head in 1976 when the Prime Minister of the day announced his intention to sell the whenua for a luxury housing development. Joe Hawke, a prominent Ngāti Whātua leader, organised a group who set up camp and occupied the area for 506 days until the government sent an army and police to evict the group. 222 people were arrested that day and their gardens and buildings were demolished. Joe Hawke and his group never gave up on their quest to have their whenua returned. Eventually, in 1987, the Waitangi Treaty Tribunal made an historic decision ordering the government to return the whenua to Ngāti Whātua. Today you can enjoy the beautiful open grounds with their breathtaking views over the harbour and the islands of the Poiaki Gulf. You can also take time to explore the monument built in honour of Michael Savage, one of our Prime Ministers, from 1935 to 1940.
Through every storm, through every plan, I'm stronger just holding your hand. When the world gets heavy on my mind, you're the peace I always find. You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my beginning and my end. In your
This stop, Takapofo, or Bastion Point. Hop off here for amazing fun opportunities. Takapofo, Bastion Point, for this stop.
You make my wrongs feel right. I thank God every day I can for giving me a loving man. You listen when I cannot speak. You lift me up when I'm weak. Every dream feels closer now with your promises and sacred vows. If time should try to fade our fire, my heart will still burn with desire. No matter where this life may
For your safety, passengers must remain seated whenever the bus is in motion. The bus is stopped in traffic lights and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open top buses, please ensure your hands, arms and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you.
simple and true. Every word just says I love you.
Our next stop will be Sea Life, Kelly Townsend's aquarium.
In the quiet of the morning light, I see your smile. It feels so right. Through every storm, through every plan, I'm stronger just holding your hand. When the world gets heavy on my mind, you're the peace I always find. You're my forever man, my home, my
Harry Carlton had a passion for skydive that he wanted to share with the world. He imagined building a transparent tunnel on the ocean floor where the public could see the magnificent creatures of the deep from a diver's point of view. This dream became a reality at Sea Life Kelly Tarleton's Aquarium, our next stop. You'll enter the aquarium through one of its most fascinating exhibits, a replica of the 1911 wooden hut that sheltered a team of Antarctic explorers led by Captain Robert Falcon Scott. You'll experience firsthand the cramped quarters filled with scientific specimens and photographs collected by one of the first land explorations of Antarctica. Nearby, you'll find some of Antarctica's most famous residents, penguins. Every year, it's a treat to watch the fleet of penguins make their first attempt to walk through the snow. You may find yourself thinking of the adorable Mumble in the 2006 movie Happy Feet. You'll also encounter eels, sharks, turtles, stingrays, octopuses, seahorses, and dozens of sea creatures large and small. No visit to Auckland is complete. For your safety, passengers must remain seated whenever the bus is in motion, when the bus is stopped at traffic lights, and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open-spot buses, please ensure your hands, arms, and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you. With so little space in the city, you may wonder why there aren't more buildings on the green space that we're passing now. All you'll see is a church and an urupa or cemetery. Originally, the Ngāti Whātua iwi had a settlement here. However, the City Council thought land was valuable real estate, and in 1952, they moved the residents to state houses on the hill above us. After moving the residents, the City Council decided to burn down the village to remove all traces before a royal visit by the Queen. Unfortunately, only the little cemetery, or urupa, was left of the land that Ngāti Whātua call their own. Today, the area is held in a reserve as a park that can be enjoyed by all. As the lands are considered sacred or tapu by Māori under New Zealand law, no one can ever build or develop the land here. Our last stop will be near the waterfront in downtown Auckland. It's the perfect place to enjoy fresh sea breezes over a glass of New Zealand wine.
Simple and true, every word just says I love you.
Look across the harbour and you'll see Devonport, a charming seaside suburb known for its art galleries, shops, and stunning views of Auckland's skyline. Devonport sits on a peninsula with two volcanic peaks, Mount Karumba, or Mount Victoria, and Maungaika, North Head, reflecting New Zealand's bilingual naming. It's also home to the Royal New Zealand Navy Base and just a 15-minute ferry ride from downtown Auckland. If you visit, don't miss North Head's historic reserve, where you can explore old military tunnels, gun batteries, and enjoy some of the best panoramic views in the city.
In the quiet of the morning light, I see your smile. It feels so right. Through every storm, through every plan, I'm stronger just holding your hand. When the world gets heavy on my mind, you're the peace I always find. You're my forever man, my home, my friend, my beginning and my end. In your arms
You may see people swimming to the left in Judges Bay. That name dates back to colonial times when 3 magistrates settled near this inlet. Auckland's waterfront has changed dramatically since then. Generations have reshaped and added to the coastline, transforming Judges Bay into a tidal lagoon. A few years ago, it was redesigned as a swimming area with a small beach and rafts, along with a picnic area and promenade. It's close to the Palm Bars, New Zealand's largest saltwater swimming pool.
Every dream feels closer now with your promises and sacred vows. If time should try to fade our fire, my heart will still burn with desire. No matter where this life may go, one thing certain I already know.
The Waitemata Harbour is home to a working port, so it's always a hive of activity. Almost every day, you'll see a steady stream of freight vessels. They're a vital link to the outside world. This is an island nation. Anything we don't produce ourselves, we have to import. Huge shipments of motor vehicles, computers and other goods enter the country along this waterfront every day. This is also where our exports leave the country. Billions of dollars worth of human meat.
Every word just says I love
In Te Ao Māori, the Māori world, Aotearoa has both a physical and a spiritual origin. Millions of years ago, the land we now call New Zealand rose from the ocean floor. But in Māori tradition, it was the demigod Maui who fished up the North Island, known as the Ika Maui, the fish of Maui. The story goes that Maui caught this giant fish from the ocean using a magical hook. As he went to get help, his brothers grew impatient and began carving up the fish, creating the mountains, valleys and ridgelines we see today. Their waka, or canoe, which brought them on this journey, became the South Island, or Te Waka o Maui, the canoe of Maui. The ocean surrounds us, isolating us from the outside world. This was one of the last lands on Earth where humans settled. The Māori tell of a bold explorer named Kupe, who discovered Aotearoa in New Zealand while chasing an octopus to Lake Ihawaiki, the legendary island where the world began. Archaeologists date that discovery you'll find in New Zealand today. More explorers followed by Abel Tasman from the Netherlands and Captain James Cook followed. The Europeans who, quote unquote, discovered New Zealand. The story of the vessels that sailed here from around the world and the hopeful efforts on board inspired Hui Te Aonui or Karanua, the New Zealand Maritime Museum. It's a fabulous, family-friendly look at our volume of the ocean from the first landfall to the America's Cup, with historic vessels, artworks, scale models and more. You'll find the Maritime Museum on the waterfront. We are approaching Britomart, one of Auckland's trendiest neighbourhoods. It's named for the HMS Britomart, a British brig that raised the Union Jack over Auckland for the first time in 1840. Now Aucklanders and visitors flock to Britomart for fun. You'll find everything from posh boutiques to nightclubs, yoga studios, bike rental and international cuisine.
In the quiet of the morning light, I see your smile. It feels so right. Through every storm, through every plan, I'm stronger just holding your hand. When the world gets heavy on my mind,
We are approaching the downtown Auckland waterfront stop. This is your stop for Britomart, the Viaduct Harbour, the New Zealand Maritime Museum, and Auckland Whale and Dolphin Experience. Next stop, the waterfront. If you are returning to a cruise ship from here, walk a short distance to Quay Street. Please remain seated until we get to the stop.